Hello.
Hello,
May you please say your name?
Jackie Trundle.
And who are you to me?
I am your mom.
Okay. Are you okay if I ask you some questions about schooling?
Yes.
Okay. First question is well, it's not really a question. Share a significant story, it can be positive or negative, from your own K through 12 or post-secondary school experience that still impacts you to today.
Well, the biggest one I can think of is a negative. Is that okay?
Yeah? Okay.
And it has nothing to do with books or lessons or learning or anything. It has to do with the other students.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe you'd call it bullying.
Yeah.
Nowadays, maybe you would.
Okay.
Back then, we didn't talk about that because I'm kind of older. So maybe, we probably didn't talk about it like that, but I was not always treated well by peers,
Mm-hmm.
made fun of for ridiculous things.
Like what?
The way I dressed, the way I looked, because I liked to study.
Yeah.
And then later elementary, I wore glasses, so I was made fun of for that. And being a good student. Other kids didn't like that for some reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do think it's affected through my life how I feel about myself.
So you think it's affected your identity then?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
And at times, I think there were things teachers could have done, but did not do.
Like interfere with, or not interfere, interject.
Yeah.
Into the situation?
Step in and, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you experience that in like middle school and high school as well? That kind of treatment by other people? Or just in elementary school?
I would have to say both.
Okay.
It became more in high school. It became more because I worked hard to be a good student. And I don't know if that was threatening to other students.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think some kids still act the same way today. Maybe it's because they're embarrassed by how they...
I think they do too.
How they learn, or if they're not doing well in school, then they just take it out on other people.
And I think it's a lack of respect for others.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gotten worse through the years, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's coming from home.
Well, I was going to say it probably starts with parents or how they've been raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No.
Okay.
That's...
Okay. The second question, what do you remember learning in your K through 12 education?
I think I remember learning early on, and it carried with me throughout even college, is I got good grades, made good grades, but I had to work for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
I had friends who could just sit there in class and do nothing, none of the reading or anything extra, and made A's, but I couldn't do that. I knew early on I had to do the work.
Yeah. So did you studied a lot then?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
What kinds of things did you do to study?
Took notes when I would read the textbooks, or keep rewriting stuff to kind of get the information in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, a tape recorder was a big thing, and I taped. This was specifically, I guess, in college because I commuted.
Yeah.
So I would record. I don't even think I've ever told you this. I'd record my notes,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had a 45-minute drive to school, and I would listen to them.
Oh, Mommy.
So, yeah. Maybe that was a little overkill. I don't know, but...
I probably should have taken that up or something. Do you think your love of learning has impacted how you see yourself or your identity, or because of how you were treated by your peers in regard to that? Did that kind of diminish how you saw yourself in that regard because other people made fun of you?
It didn't diminish what I did, the extra studying and going the extra mile or whatever, but I think it affected maybe my confidence in myself,
Yeah.
how I presented myself in front of other people, maybe.
So it never affected you as far as you kept doing it even though people would make fun of you.
Yes,
You
I
kept
did.
up with it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anything else you would like to talk about in regard to what you learned?
No.
Okay. Next question. What do you think needs to change in today's education system?
The way they do the new math, for one thing,
Yeah.
I think is actually absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But,
With the Common Core standards.
yeah. They've taken something, I think, very simple and made it extra complicated.
Yeah. Why do you think they've done that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Maybe I've never really been explained the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Another thing, and I think it impacts education, again, back to the respect thing. I just don't see the respect, even in younger elementary kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it negatively impacts education. I don't know what the answer is, but like I think a lot of it comes from home.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do you think some teachers just don't care to try to fix that? Or do they not know how?
I think probably they don't know how, and they're probably being afraid to be called out on it. You know, they have to be mindful of everything they do, and I think a lot of we expect more out of the teachers, but then don't give them the necessary tools and stuff they need to do a good job.
Yeah. What
So-
do you think about things in classrooms like flexible seating or hands-on activities that get the kids moving and engaged rather than sitting at desks? Do you think that's a good way at keeping students who are a little more rowdy or have...
I think, and again, I'm no expert. I'm just a mom looking from the outside, but I think it's I can see some merit to it, but then I think we've gone in some cases too far that way with it.
Yeah.
I don't see anything inherently wrong with structure and having to be made to sit at a desk for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
I think kids need that structure.
Well, in my class that we're doing this interview for, we've talked about something or a program called XQ Schools, and there's maybe like 20 of them or something in the country where they've transformed certain schools or they've built schools. And the goal is like, for some schools, not all, each student has a particular project or goal that they work on, and that's what they do each day. There aren't the core subjects. There isn't sitting at desks and a teacher teaching. They're doing research and they're working like alongside the teachers to do that particular project. And so they come to school every day just to work on their particular goal. What do you think of something like that? Do you think is that too far the other end that you're talking about?
To me, it seems like it. Maybe just because of my age, 58. I'm, I guess, more old school. I don't know if there's ever been studies about that. You know, the impact that has on kids. But
Yeah.
I know you have to wonder how much self-learning is going on with that as opposed to being taught there. And whether that's good or bad, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think the core subjects need to be taught? Math, science, social studies, language arts,
I do.
all of them.
And
Later on, like in...
I think the biggest one is reading.
Yeah.
If you can't read well, you're going to struggle in every area. So
Yeah.
I think the biggest area we fail our kids is if they are moved along in the school system not able to read well.
Yeah. And that's a big issue these days, is the reading or literacy rate has gone way, way down.
I believe that.
Yeah. Okay. Next question, kind of going back to your own schooling experience. Was school a difficult or simple process or experience for you? I suppose that kind of ties back to
Yeah.
your significant story, and what you remember from your education.
I think too, just growing up, I had some home life things that were not so well.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose that impacted how I felt about school and myself, maybe, but
That made it a more difficult process than,
yes.
obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, I always got along well with my teachers, liked my teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were like mentor type teachers
Yeah.
to me. And yeah, I don't want to make it all sound like doom and gloom, but I did like school.
And I'm not saying that you're old, because you're not.
Mm-hmm.
But that's interesting you say the teachers were kind of like mentors. Like that you were in high school in the late 70s. I think when we see teachers from that time, like 60s, 70s, 80s, they're more strict. The teacher is the enemy. No student likes the teacher. But you saw some of your teachers differently than that.
Yes,
or some teachers acted differently than
A
that.
couple, it might have been the class too. I was in an office education type class. It was a 2 to 3 hour block of time that you were in this class, and it simulated working in an office and secretarial things. And
Oh, okay.
the teacher for that class was maybe she was a little ahead of her time with some of her curriculum that she developed, and teaching us to be, we were in high school then, so teaching you to be a little more of an independent thinker
Yeah.
and motivating us to do well.
Okay. What grade was that you took that?
That would have been probably 10, 11, and 12.
Well, you took it for 3 years.
Yeah.
You could take it each year. Then.
And I think during your senior years when you were in there for like a 3 hour block of time.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Were you introduced to computers then? Was that
We didn't have computers then.
typewriters?
We had a Selectric typewriter.
What's that?
The one that has the ball on it instead of the little arms that come up.
Oh.
It's got a little ball that, yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So yeah.
I'll have to look up a picture of that.
Yeah.
Well, when did you first use a computer?
Not till I was out in an office.
Not even in college?
No. I typed my papers on a typewriter. Yeah.
Computers were still becoming a thing, weren't they?
Yeah.
They weren't.
Isn't that crazy?
Mhm.
I mean,
That
I'm over middle age probably, but I'm not that old.
no. That I don't think that was very long ago.
But I remember in '79 when I graduated, when I worked at that accounting firm, I worked on it was called a word processor.
Yeah.
It was more than a typewriter, but not a computer. I mean, it was weird.
Okay. Okay, we're on to our last question now. If you could go back to school, and we'll just say college for this one. If you could go back to college, would you go the same route or would you take a different approach? Why?
Definitely a different approach.
Okay.
The first thing, I didn't go to college right out of high school.
You didn't?
Remember? I went to that accounting firm
Oh, that was right after. Okay.
right after high school.
Okay.
So I did live at home, but I was making a full-time income.
Okay.
And then, to give that up and go back to school was a little difficult. It took me 10 years. I did finally graduate.
It took you 10 years to complete your bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I worked full-time still and then went part-time, and then I eventually quit work and went to school full-time to get it finished.
Would you wish you would have, had you have been able to, gone right out of high school, start college, and completed it in the 4 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it just not financially possible?
Correct.
at that time? Okay.
Yeah. And I wish I had been given more guidance or advice on what to major in. I majored in marketing, which is not really a good fit for me. I would have loved to have gone to school to be a teacher. Don't know why I didn't.
Yeah.
I think maybe if I'd gone right out of high school, that might have.
You might have pursued that.
I might have. Yeah.
You minored in psychology, right?
Yes, I did.
So, with that major in marketing and minor in psychology, have you ever done a job pertaining to either of those things?
No.
What has been kind of the common focus of most of the jobs you've had over the years?
Secretarial.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is, ironically, the education I got in high school.
Yeah.
So,
But if you could go back and do it differently, you would have preferred to have done it in a smaller time frame, maybe have gotten some more guidance as to what path to take, and have picked a different major, something more fitting to you.
yes.
How did you come to pick the marketing major?
You know, I don't know if it's because I worked for an accounting firm that I decided I didn't want to major in accounting. But I wanted it to be business related, so I'm not really sure how I came up with the marketing.
Okay.
And I don't really recall having a discussion with Mom and Dad
Yeah.
about what do you think you want to do? This I think would be a good fit for you. I don't know if it's because they didn't go to college, so they didn't.
That's what I was going to ask. Neither of them went to college.
No,
did
they never went to college, so I don't know if they.
Just didn't know how to approach it. Maybe?
Yeah, or it probably never even crossed their mind.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Those were some great answers. And are you excited about me becoming a teacher?
I'm very excited. I'm trying not to live too vicariously through you, but if I ever overstep the boundary, you let me know.
Okay. Can we go shopping for books after this?
No.
Mommy! Okay. Well, that's all. Thanks,
right.
Mom.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Talk to you later.